So hello. Today we have a Hinge review video. It's gonna be that topic because for two reasons. Actually for like 5 or 6 reasons, but like let's get into like the main reason here. It's because I need like a chilled out kind of topic that doesn't require me to be super vulnerable, and it just is like a fun thing still. So we're gonna do something a little bit different though. Instead of reviewing Bible Belt Southern dudes Hinge profiles, because that's where I live right now, we're going to review dudes from my hometown and within a 100-mile radius, so like deep in the heart of New England. That's what we're going to see from now on. Now, I did think about the difference before we get into the swipes. I always feel like we got to talk about some stuff. So I kind of made myself believe that online dating was the way to go because of all the excuses that I gave myself. Like I could have done in-person dating here and like really tried to like get better at that, but like I'm an introvert. I work by myself, I live by myself, and I, up until like maybe a few months ago, I didn't even have in-person friends here. I had places that I liked to go visit, but it wasn't like I frequented certain things. I just kind of mostly did my stuff and I worked inside my house. And so like I didn't really have a whole like social system established, and I didn't really know how long I was gonna live here, and it turns out I wasn't gonna live here for too awful long. So I really used online dating to connect me with people, and I got good at that, hence the reason why I feel like it's appropriate for me to give my advice to people who are trying to use online dating, and I review their Hinge profiles, and then I just kind of talk about my real experiences of dating, which is one of those things like I think that you should always look for in people that are making these types of like videos or like advicey type videos or like whatever. It's like if they're not in the thick of it with you, like I'm in the full trenches with you. I experience online dating right now just like you are, and since I'm moving to a place where like I already have social systems and like my favorite places to go, places that I know are safe, places that I know the demographics of the people that usually tend to go to those places, I already have places in mind to like frequent so that I can be seen enough times by the same types of people to like build rapport with them, right? Like I don't have to, like it's just kind of a lot for my introverted brain in order to be like, where do I go here that's safe, that's comfortable, that has the right type of people that I like or whatever? Do I join like a running group? Do I just go to like Whole Foods 1,000 times and hope to run into a hot dude in like the produce section? Like I do all those things, but I don't really like capitalize on any of the interactions that I have. I don't really have many in person, which is always really strange. I feel like there's some people, on like a side note, that like really get hit on a lot in person and have a real hard time online, or it's kind of the opposite where they're like online hot and just like in person fail. So like I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I've been hit on in person, but I've also like, it's not that hard for me online, but there's still a bottleneck in my dating life where I think it would benefit me if I just learned how to have all the tools in my dating life in person, learn how to be more kind of, not aggressive, but like assertive and like, hey, I am single, do you want to go have some dinner with me sometime or whatever, after like the 3rd, 4th time of like talking to somebody randomly at like a cafe where we both are working for that day, right? Like currently I don't know if I'd really have the balls to do that. So like I think that I might stop making Hinge review videos, and maybe I'll transition more to like talking about my experience with the shift of like trying to meet people in person, because culture is shifting and people are getting like more lonely and more weird, and like they're not really practicing meeting people, and it's like they're just I don't know. I feel like people are getting more fucked up as they just sit there behind like Chat GPT and AI, and like I feel like the connection is being lost, and dating is so connecty. So like it's really gonna benefit those people that understand that you need to be ahead of the game. Like if I'm not awkward in person, and if I have confidence in person to like tell somebody to their face after meeting them a couple of times or whatever, if I can like get that part right, but I also have the online dating thing in my back pocket, like I think that I'll be kind of like more top level. You know, I'll be doing well for myself. But honestly, I'm just kind of like doing it in terms of like online dating is not going to be the thing where I'm from, because there's just not a lot of people. And I'm going to be real. I set out my parameters of like my normal kind of dude online on Hinge. Hinge is more serious, right? So like only specific types of people will be on Hinge. I know that, so it's like less people are using that in that age range for me to find than like Tinder. So I'm just going to talk about Hinge right now. But I set out my location to where I'm going to move to maybe about a week and something ago. And I noticed that after that amount of time, a week or something ago, I literally already ran out of people by swiping, not constantly even, just like randomly swiping a little bit throughout the day and like some before I went to bed or whatever. And I ran out of people. It's like from age 34 to like 44, I don't have any other parameters set except for it has to be within 50 miles. I was trying to do that so I wouldn't capture like people that didn't live in the United States, because we're very close to Canada. So I was like, I just kind of want to date an American, a fellow American. For, you know, going on dates. I didn't want to have to cross the border all the time in order to go on dates. It just made, I don't know, I just thought that it would be more complicated if that happened. And so I usually have a 100-mile radius, but then I had to whittle it down in order to like not capture the Canadians. So I ran out of people in like a week. I have never run out of people, even in my small town right here. So on Hinge. So like I am reading the writing on the wall, and I'm just like, oh God, Michelle, like it's gonna be better if you do this before it's actually like a needed skill. Like if it's your choice to go like in-person date and get good at that in-person situation, versus just relying on online dating apps to like find your one or whatever, the one. Find your person that you want to go on fun dates with. So like I know that's coming just because of how fucked online dating is getting. Like the choice is also exacerbated because of where I'm moving to. Like the reality of things are like I'm going to either not go on dates and be kind of like just frustrated with that sort of area of my life, or like I can take matters into my own hands and like, you know, expand a little bit where I wasn't necessarily like ready to expand in all the ways here, just because it was such a bunch of big changes that I wasn't ready to make as an introverted person. Like there were certain things that I could do on my own that I was really proud of for my introverted self, but like going out and like hitting on people or like, you know, being available to like, you know, do that was just like out of my realm. And I just felt it was much easier to like have it vetted online. But that's not the case anymore. That's not the case anymore because that option just doesn't really exist quite as readily back home. And so I do have to get better at it, but I do have the advantage of knowing the social system. Like I said, I don't have to build that. And so it gives me less anxiety to like know that I have to build these in-person skills in order to pick people up in person. So like that's why I think that level is the most is the most scary to like have to perfect, but like I want to get to there where it's like I can just be in whatever situation, and I can know that like this could be an opportunity to take advantage of what the chemistry that I see or whatever, and not just wait forever for like somebody to match with me. I feel like that's like so annoying, and it's like a race to the bottom that I don't necessarily want to like participate in anymore. It's so annoying, and I would rather just have spontaneous fun moments happen in my life rather than these super contrived, really boring conversations that happen online. I don't know, it's just difficult either way, so like pick your freaking hard. But like I just see myself having like a very troubling love life if I don't adapt. So this is going to be a video about my need to adapt for sure, and also to like maybe transition you to like those types of videos if that's what we're going to do. Instead of like the Hinge reviews, we're going to be like, this is the week that I learned about this, or this is the week that I really sucked at, you know, the in-person thing, and this is what I learned then. Because like I'm starting from basic zero. Like I understand I'd be like a normal kind of human in like, you know, real life, but like a human that is like trying actively to like put myself out there and be rejected. I feel like guys are a little bit more used to being rejected in person, and so I want to maybe learn that, like how to take rejection in person and like go after what I want, and to like have the confidence to do that. I don't really tell you about like my dates. I mostly tell you like, you know, the different things that I've learned in order to get dates going. But like I have been, prior to like my last week or whatever, because I was prepping for my medical thing, I was going on dates, and like I've had a couple of dates where like the chemistry, the physical sexual chemistry was insane, off the charts, but the actual date was like wah wah. I didn't think that that was possible beforehand. I had no idea that that was possible, to have excellent sexual chemistry but like have no like safety in it. Like there was no like emotional trust, and like there was no intellectual element to things. It was all just very like highly sexually energized, which is exciting of course, but I was like, why is the date going so badly now? Like it was because it's not well-rounded. So I just thought previously that if you could just do that part right, like everything would kind of like fall into place. I was wrong. And then I had, on the opposite, I had a date where like it was very connected intellectually. Like I was so excited. I'd never met another person that was like fast. My mind works fast sometimes, and that's one of my litmus tests that I use on like my dates. I kind of go hard if I can see that they can like take it, as far as like I'm going to be sarcastic and witty and quick, and I want to see if they can play back, or like am I just going to be bored with them because they're always asking me constantly what I'm even talking about. It's like, no, in order to like actually have fun with me, like I'm not going to be this intense every time, but like the first time I meet you, if I find that you're really fun for me intellectually, I'm going to push it to like the limits to see where your limits are, just because I can. So like this dude had the most fun with me. We went to like this really big city, and one of the things that we did was we walked around the city, and there were statues in the city. And there were statues that were like artistically done, and they were purposely placed in this location for you to like figure out something about them. And I decided to kind of just talk about them as we were walking by, and it turned into like this whole half-hour story of like our spontaneous creative like ideas about what the background story of this thing was. So I can usually tell if like the person plays back with me and like just is equally like fast and sharp and playful, but like you have to have a level of intellect in order to like keep up with this chaotic kind of thinking in the moment. I think everybody just knows that when you meet somebody for a date for the first time, it is a little bit like an interview, but it's up to you guys how the interview goes. You invent the rules, and so I invented my own rules, and he played back with my rules. He made up some of his own, and I played back with his. So I feel like we played really well intellectually together, but we did not play well sexually together. He wanted to kiss me by a dumpster, and that's not really you know, what I think is my top idea of how to be kissed after a really great date. I was like, I don't think this is gonna work out. Just like I did not think it was going to be worked out when the person I had super great sexual chemistry with basically thought I was dumb as rocks. Like, there's just something in the extreme of like whatever was going on with my recent dates where it was just like it was not hitting all of the elements that I enjoy when I'm trying to connect with somebody. And I know that's hard to do in like one date. Yeah, that's where I am with my dating life. So this part's good, and that's why I make these types of videos, because I think I'm good at this part. But I do try to like warn you, like I do have my own bottlenecks, so my opinion is just that, and you could take my words with a grain of salt. But I am good at getting dates, and I am good at being interesting, and I'm good at being relatively normal. So take that for what you want as far as understanding if I'm going to be a reliable person for you to listen to while you watch me swipe people from New England. Okay, we're in the card deck and we're on our first person. Now, my filters are 65-mile range to like not include people that are super far, and to not include people that are in Canada. And I have age range 34 to 42. I could expand 40 something, but if I'm being for real, people tend to not age well where I'm from, because life there is really rough. I actually saw something really sad. One of my top crushes from grade school, I actually saw in my card deck during the first week that I moved things to there, and I almost didn't even recognize him. He was the cutest kid ever when I was in grade school and then middle school, and I think I still had a crush on him when I was like in high school, but like I hadn't seen him for years. And like I said, people back home, they get into drugs, they get into drinking, and it's just kind of like a hard life because it's always freaking cold there, and it's just like, oh, it's real hard on you. And so you got a lot of grit. I think that's where like the definition of grit comes from. So that's kind of what I mean by they don't really age well. But like, I am the same age as him. Literally, I went to school with him and I was like, oh my God, I couldn't, like, he at least looked like 10 or 20 years older than me. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that's you. I was so sad when I saw like basically the love of like my little graded school life, and like he was just so haggard. And I'm not even trying to be mean, I was just like, oh my God, like you couldn't even see, like you could see like in his eyes that he was just a sad human. I was like, oh, my heart hurt so bad. Okay, so I just barely opened my card deck and I see a person that looks happy. He's verified. Now I want to say that I can tell the difference between a fake profile, even if they're verified or not, a lot easier than I can tell if somebody's a fake profile here. I just know what type of person is supposed to kind of logically be in the area that they say that they're from, because everything is just kind of like homogenous, like I told you. And so like I kind of understand where the most variety of people would be, what type of people are usually locally to me, what type of people, like a person in a suit in their profile. Wouldn't be a weird thing here. I wouldn't necessarily know that that's a strange thing if they like were down the road from me. Like, this place is big enough to like include a bunch of variety of different people, and so it doesn't like scream red flags that this person's made up if you know, they're wearing a suit and they look kind of like a nice business dude. Business dudes do not collect in the local area that I'm from. That would be a weird thing, a business dude in a suit. What would be a normal thing would be like a dude in a Carhartt shirt, kind of dirty, working on his truck. Like, that'd be completely normal. So yeah, I could be wrong, but like, I'm gonna use my context of actually knowing what is most likely the case. And so I've already found a couple like fake profiles that were verified. They picked really obscure towns that even I've never heard of in my little tiny state to like say that was their hometown. And like, it was just a weird profile. I was like, this just doesn't make sense. So I am going to put less emphasis on if they're verified or not. But I'm still going to notice that, as should you. You should always notice that, but do understand that fake, catfishy, or robot profiles can be verified as well. And I want to always kind of say that because I don't know how many other videos that you've watched of mine that I kind of just talked about that. So I want to make it known to be like safe while you're doing your online dating situation, and to like keep your eyes open for people that are weird, and to just understand the entire context and to understand exactly what you know. So maybe you are like me and you're going to be dating in where you kind of grew up, and so you have a lot of advantage versus me currently right now. Here, if I was to date on Hinge, I would not have the same advantage. And so we're going to talk about that because it's important to understand that if you do move somewhere, you're going to lose a little bit of the advantage that you have mentally, right? You're going to have to be a little bit more skeptical of people until you get kind of like the lay of the land, right? So keep yourself safe and just kind of get good at seeing the details. So this guy is active right now, which is always kind of awkward if I, you know, prompt him for a like and then he doesn't like me back. Like, I'll know that he saw it and then he like rejected me. It's a little bit weird, but it's also not. So anyways, he's active right now. His first picture is a picture of the side of his body. He's on a boat and he's grilling. He's the grill master, and he's got a big spatula that's stainless steel in his hand. He does not look like he has farmer's tan. He looks like he's got a regular even tan, but I can tell that because he's got a shirt and all of his skin tone looks the same. He's got shirt and shorts. And there is a person in the side of the photo that is giving a thumbs up. So it just looks like a normal dude. It's a nice sunset picture. It looks like he's having fun with his friends. He does have a beard and he's got curly fun hair. So we're just gonna continue. He looks like he has nice hands. His first prompt is, my simple pleasures: perfectly proofed sourdough, cooking dinner with friends, and the slight bit of anxiety you get during a great movie/TV scene. Okay. Perfectly proofed sourdough. Now, where I'm from, people really enjoy their slow moments. Like, if that could be like a thing, I'm pretty sure Gen Z made the whole slow Sundays or slow whatever is like this whole thing. But like where I'm from, they made that like their way of living. It's not like a catchphrase you just kind of say because it's cool or whatever, or like popular. Like, they've been living that way for a real long time. So perfectly proofed sourdough is not necessarily like a weird thing, because like you just enjoy the higher quality things that just take a ton of time, because that's just like what your life allows there. So that's kind of like what it conveys to me, that he is from there, not that he moved there. So let's see. I don't know where his hometown is because I was just trying to check my assumption, because I'm looking at his hometown versus where he lives, and I actually don't know what city that hometown is, so I can't say. But maybe he's assimilated enough into New England that he just likes the slow way of life. So to see somebody do the sourdough thing long after the sourdough trend kind of came and gone from the pandemic, you can tell that he's sort of bought in hard to like certain things. And the fact that he put it in his profile is kind of telling. Like he still like enjoys difficult things, not just because they're trendy, right? So perfectly proofed sourdough, cooking with dinner with friends, which is like kind of ties into like his first profile picture, so that lends credibility to what he just said. It's not exciting to me, like, yeah, everybody kind of like, who doesn't like cooking with friends? But I'm just kind of like telling you my thoughts on as I like read his profile. And a slight bit of anxiety you get during a great movie or TV scene. I don't really know what to do with that one in my brain. So we're just gonna continue because I feel like we got a lot to do. So I could get into like the nuance of that thing, but I don't really have a ready answer, so I'm just gonna move on. So I'm looking at his demographics, like his stats in like the middle section of his profile. And I see that he's from a place that's relatively normal, where normal people like to congregate. They're not super strange. And I know that because I know that city quite well. So I also see that he graduated from the same college that I went to. This next photo is looking off into the distance from across the table of someone that's taking his photo. And he's got hairy arms, very hairy arms. He actually doesn't look like the same person at all from the first picture to the second one, because he's got no hair on his arms here, and like he doesn't look like that person at all. His literal hair was curly in the first picture, like it's short but it's still curly. And his hair is about the same length and not curly. Like I understand that dudes can blow dry their hair straight or whatever, but like how do you have arm hair and like no arm hair? How does that even happen? Like what? So like I don't understand what's going on, but okay. This dude has real intense mustache and no beard in this one with his arm hair. And I don't mean to make fun of his arm hair, I just didn't see that in like the first picture, so I wasn't ready for that, I guess. I wasn't ready for the stash. And he's like got like a rolled up cigarette, you know, like the cigarette paper that looks like kind of like craft paper, it's like brown or whatever. So like I know that it's not like a store-bought like doobie, or it looks like he rolls his own cigarettes or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And like there's a half drank glass of what looks like rosé. I have no idea where it is. Like I'm trying to like see what the restaurant is. I just don't recognize it at all, so I can't tell if he has good taste or bad taste. Again, like versus like doing this in the South, like I could barely even tell that they were in the same state as me. Never mind, like, can I tell that they've been where I've been, right? Like it's different. It's different context that I have now as I'm looking at their profiles. So the next picture is of him on a mountain bike around a turn. You can tell that one of his friends took the picture, and it's a good picture. It's an action picture. There's nothing that really explains above it, so I can't really tell like from the prompts like how this is connected to his personality. If he had made a prompt like me in the wild or something, like that would have been very literal, but like sometimes people can use the prompt of like me during fashion week and it's like very opposite fashion week clearly if he's like in his like mountain biking gear, right? Like that could kind of like be a way to like make fun of people that are very prissy and like it's very like gritty and dirty back home, right? Like it's more like part of the crew. I don't know. I could just get some different clues from if he used prompts, but he didn't use prompts at all above his picture, so there's nothing to be said for that. So his written out next prompt is, I geek out on all things bikes, pizza with a good snappy crust, and new episodes of The Daily. So if you think about it, he kind of is giving me the same sort of answer that the first written out prompt was. It's like food stuff and then show stuff. I'm not necessarily looking for somebody that is like a foodie and then like loves shows. Like I think that those things are very normal, but I'm looking for like more like who you actually are, sort of. Like I'm looking for more weird things to connect with, because like I don't necessarily hate food or shows, but like they don't run my life. So I'm looking for somebody who like spends a little bit more of their time doing other strange things. So that is what is conveying to me, because this is the second time that he's talked about food and shows. Yeah, he's just like a normal dude, and I'm like not necessarily looking for like an extremely normal. So the next picture, it looks like he's sitting on a log, a big log that's fallen down on a beach. This is like a lake beach versus like an ocean beach, and this is like one of those where you can build like a campfire and like the mountains are in the background. It's like really pretty, so I can see that he's eating a big sandwich and he's looking really happy. He's got nice cute dimples, and I don't really love his big handlebar mustache, but I can see that he's wearing Patagonia shorts. So I think that we're basically the same type of person fundamentally, as far as like likes quality and likes certain like brands that are very popular back home, but like I'm not overwhelmed by this person. My biggest date fail, I'm excited to read this one. Talking up one of my favorite restaurants, picking the time, showing up in the parking lot, and realizing this was the only day of the week that they are closed. That 100% happens where I'm from. I know of a few restaurants that are like that. Usually it's like a Monday, or like they're only open from like 4 on. They don't really have lunch on certain days, especially not weekdays, because like they just don't have enough people to hire that are reliable, that can keep like the, you know, everything going. It's not like here where like, you know, people, if you have a nice restaurant, like it's open at all times, and it's not like it's weird. You actually have to plan your life very strangely where I'm from. Like Amazon Prime does not come in like an hour or something. Like Amazon Prime stuff comes in like 4 days, and that's like the fastest, right? So like things are very different there. So like I can feel the empathy for him on this one, because I can relate to what he's talking about, because I know what a difficult place it is to live. So I don't think that that was such a fail. Like that's not really, that's signs of like where you live. That's not really signs of like he should have known to look, because like if you're not really from there, like you don't really anticipate that happening. But he did say one of his favorite restaurants, so I don't know. So I could see that as being a fail. Poor dude. All right, his next photo is of him in front of a nicely mowed lawn, and there are trees in the background that are turning lovely colors of fall, and it looks like they're drinking some sort of microbrew on a picnic bench outside, and he's sitting side by side with a dude, and they're both kind of cheersing. So this is a good picture of his face, this is a good picture of, you know, what he likes to do with his free time, and it's a very typical get outside kind of picture. So he looks normal. He actually looks like a cop. I don't know how to like best describe that, but he looks kind of like a cop. That is Tom Selleck. That's kind of like, this is mustache. This is code for mustache. I don't know what I was doing, but yeah. I don't know if I really am into his aesthetic, but I'm into, like, he likes quality. Anyways, the last picture is of him and a bunch of his cycling buddies. I know enough about cycling because I have a friend from there that tells me all different kinds of things about cycling. There's road cycling and there's mountain bike cycling. It looks like he's just into mountain bike cycling. So, or like mountain biking. But he did say he was obsessed with all things bike. So, I don't know. I kind of think that he's not gonna be really my type. For a bunch of different reasons, but he is a normal looking dude, and he wasn't as bad as I thought as far as what I would expect to see. He looks like he's from more of a normal part of New England, not like really backwoodsy type. But I still said no. I wasn't into like his stash. Okay, this dude's name is very strange. I can't really blame that on him because, like, if his parents gave him that name, that's not his fault. But at the same time, like, people sometimes rename themselves, like, and like, you know, give themselves like little nicknames and they put it on their profile. So like, I don't know if this is his real name, right? So like, I'm just gonna forget that I saw that. He's not verified. He's got a weird name. He's got like a hat that looks like he lives in Canada. My Canadian boyfriend used to wear that type of hat all the time, so it's not really a New England thing, it's more Canadian. So I'm just gonna scroll down to see where he's from. Interesting, he's kind of like from my area, so I don't really know. My area meaning in the South, so like I don't really know how he's there. But anyways, let's move on. So his first picture is of him holding a glass of red wine between his 2 index fingers, which is kind of a weird way to hold it. He looks like he's kind of like on a boat, like on a cruise boat thing. There's like ones that go on the lake and it's like all enclosed and they have like nice dinners on the boat or whatever. He looks like he's in one of those things, like the restaurant or whatever that he's at. But he looks kind of like moody. He's like over his shoulder kind of looking like, and he's not smiling at whoever is taking the photo, and I'm not understanding why that is his first photo. He doesn't look like he's easily approachable. He looks kind of like, I don't know, grumpy, and like, just leave me alone while I drink my wine with my T-Rex finger grip. So it says, a life goal of mine, philanthropy. I feel like I've already seen this answer, and I've already seen this answer in one of these Hinge reviews. It was like the guy that was like walking with his children to the battleships, and like he never messaged me. He was like one of the only people that I've actually said yes to on these Hinge reviews or whatever, and he didn't match with me. But his life goal was also one word, philanthropy. Or maybe it was multiple. I'd have to go back and watch that video just out of curiosity now. But I'm just like, is that like what they think that you want to see, right? Like, is that like a hack that dudes are like using to like cater to their like female audience? Like, if they're good, they how to like convey that they're good dudes. Like, I don't think like philanthropy is like that common. Am I just wrong? Do I just not know enough good people? And I'm saying that because his profile is not verified. And I'm saying that because his hometown is like from the South. And I'm saying that because his profile is like all over the place. Like, I don't know, I just don't think that this dude's real. He looks like I don't know. His next picture is of him in a vineyard, I think, or at least outside by some trees that are like growing up. Like, you know how like you plant some trees and like they have like those little plastic things around them for a while, especially at their like trunk or whatever, so they can grow up strong. It's like freshly planted trees in like a sunsetting kind of field, and he's drinking some beer from one of those fancy cups. So like beer drinking is very popular where I'm from. So this is not an indication that he's an alcoholic. It's just an indication that that's where he went. Longboarding. It's kind of an interesting video. Looks like a drone or something. It's like following him. So it's like sort of kind of interesting to watch as far as like what to put on your thing creatively. So I give him 10 out of 10 stars for having a video that's not cringy to watch. It's actually interesting. I'm not into this dude whatsoever, but he got me to watch his video like 3 times. So if you're looking for people to like get into your profile, like be creative. Like this is definitely like, it's showing that he has a hobby. He likes to move his body. He's good at something that not everybody is good at. And so like if you like longboarding too, you can see that he does this. So he's conveying so many things with this video. I just think that it's great. I think that it's a well done video, and I think it like adds to his profile. It doesn't take away. I think it adds. His next photo is him in front of the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, it looks like. And it looks like it's raining. And I am still not really convinced that this dude actually lives where he lives and he's a real person. It looks like there's not enough like New England-y photos in order for me to be like, So it like just factually doesn't make sense. So I'm more inclined to think that this person just had his photos ripped off, especially since he's not like really like expansive with like his wording. My simple pleasures, good vibes, and great conversations, coming from somebody who's very tight-lipped word-wise on their profile. He doesn't look approachable. Every single picture of him is like he's not smiling. This next photo of him is like he's in a tuxedo, and he looks like he's at some sort of ethnic wedding, and he looks nice, but like it just doesn't make contextual sense, like for what I know about that area and like who this person is. Doesn't make sense. So even if I like this dude, I was super wowed, and he was verified, I'd be like, this doesn't make sense. So I'd be more or less inclined to just say no. But like I'm not interested in this person. I'm just kind of like talking about what I'm seeing. And the last photo is of him in front of, it looks like another traveling photo where like he's dressed ethnically. He looks like he's got like some designer or fake designer sunglasses on, and like where I'm from, like people don't really care about Versace sunglasses like at all. So this doesn't really make sense. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say no. Now, the next person is definitely from Canada because their name is Guillaume, which is the Canadian version or the French version of William. So I know that I'm not gonna say yes to Guillaume, but this person is looking like he's a big meathead. His first photo is of him with a flatty hat, sunglasses, no shirt. He's sitting on some really big stairs, and he's got his wetsuit halfway down his body so that you can see his naked torso, and you can see that he's really jacked. His like back muscles are like hunching over because they're so big, and he's got his surfboard near him. So that's the vibe. Can't tell if he's like facially like what I'm into, because like most of it is like covered by a beard, a hat, and sunglasses, but I don't think that I'm going to be matching with Guillaume. All I ask is that you to be authentic. And I don't know if this is because it's like English, French to English, right? So like I don't know if that's like the best way to answer, or to like say that, to be authentic. All I ask is that you to be authentic. I don't know. I'm like picking apart like specific things about stuff, because like light bulbs in my head are like, this person's like could be not real. Like that's what I look for when I look for like, does this type of profile seem like it was filled out without even really thinking about like the answers. So like I obviously don't want to waste all of my time matching with people that are not real, that are matching with people that are like either catfish, or matching with people that like don't exist in real life. They're like robots or whatever. They're fake profiles that are just on the app to like exist. Or like for more nefarious reasons. So like that's the kind of thing that I think about as I'm reading, is the grammar correct? Like, I don't know. That's why I talk about it. It's not because like I'm great at grammar and I want to like pick on him. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to like say, think about how they worded it. Does it sound like somebody who's like not good at English as their first language? Does it sound like it doesn't make any sense even if English was their first language? Like it doesn't make contextual sense at all? Like what is the likelihood of this person being real, basically? And it's annoying that you have to think like that. You just like think like, oh, this person is like good, or like you're finally excited about somebody, and it's like, I've matched with so many people lately who are like not who they say they are. You can have the wool pulled over your eyes online and in person. There's no getting over that. But it's just like, I think you have more context like in person, and so the likelihood in person to like meet like a con man or whatever at a grocery store spontaneously is like probably lower than meeting a con man on like a dating site with like really great abs, right? Like it's just more likely that this has to happen. And so like that's one of the reasons why I think that I should develop my skill in order to not have to rely on this crap anymore, because I'll just be like having more fun instead of spending so much time talking to people that I shouldn't be talking to begin with. So anyways, I'm looking at his stats. He does not have a ton of things filled out. I was right, he is in Canada, but he doesn't have a ton of his stuff filled out. So that kind of is a red flag to me. I look to see if they filled out like just basic stuff, and like a lot of the time they just don't. So the next picture is of him in his car. He looks a little bit like AI filtered as far as like his skin, and as far as like you know, his face. His like teeth look like auto-tuned as well. They look like too perfect. Same thing for like the third picture. It's like a picture, like a real picture, except for it's put through like an AI filter or something. Like it looks like it was once taken of a dude that actually exists, and then it's like put into some sort of like program, and like it's like perfected it to like no end. So like the next picture is of him standing in front of this busy city or whatever, but it doesn't look like a real picture. It looks like the city is like fake, or there's so much filter on the background of the city that the way that he's standing, it just, I don't know, there's just complicated about why this looks fake, like in order to like explain this to you verbally. But like if I showed you, you'd be like, oh, okay. but like I want to preserve even the bot's privacy or whatever, but it just doesn't look real. And I'm saying it doesn't look real because in the background, the depth perception of the background of the city versus where he is standing on the street doesn't match up the depth perception. He looks really big compared to like the city. I don't know, it looks like he was implanted in front of this blurred out city. Does that make sense? Maybe not. It looks weird. I don't know. He's not even that hot facially. Like not my type. I should say that, not my type. The way to win me over is by being funny. The next picture is just of his head. Literally his chin to the top of his head is the only thing that is in the photo, and he's not smiling, and the background is blurred, and he just looks like he's very serious, but also kind of like playful, like come at me bro kind of stare. My self-care routine is working out. I feel like this guy is really boring, or he's just really bad at putting together his profile. His uniform, that is his next prompt. So we've got a lot going on in this photo. So we've got a dock, like a handmade dock on what looks like a lake. There's a paddle boat, there's a kayak, then there's another kayak with a fake Fendi couch pillow. And he is in flip-flops, camo shorts, like swim trunks, and he's got his flatty hat, and he looks like he's looking at his phone while getting some sun laid out on the dock. So his uniform is the hat and the shorts. Like, I'm not really super into this dude. It's not even a nice picture. Like, yeah. So the next and last picture is of him in the gym. Everybody in the background is black and white. He is in color. So either dude is very good at some sort of doctoring up of photos, or, you know, like that like is creative, but like I'd be impressed if this was an actual real person, right? Like I'd be more impressed if all of this was less doctored up. Like the doctoring up of the photos, like the AI filters, or like even if this person is real, it's like I'm not impressed by this. Like it just kind of lends me like to believe that you're fake, versus like if I can actually see the real texture of your skin, right? Like that to me is like way more authentic, and like proves to me that you're not a bot. And like I don't know. So if he was into photography, I would be more impressed about him in color, and the rest of the people at the gym are in black and white, but I'm not. I think it's weird. I sort of do love his like arm veins though. He's got like really arm veiny things going on. He's got a nice vein pump. But I'm gonna ignore that and just say no. Okay, I think that's 3. If not, I'm kind of done talking. I need to go for my walk now. I wish you guys the very best weekend. Be safe out there, have fun. Try to get some new skills if you're in the same situation as me, where like you could see the writing on the wall that online dating is not necessarily the way of the future. You might have to push yourself a little bit to an uncomfortable spot. And I think we'll talk about that in the next coming year. We'll talk about that a lot probably. So watch out for that. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.